I think about this a lot actually, that a lot of people don't get to travel or experience things or meet new people a lot, and a lot of people, their worlds and their lives are so small, and it's not just their fault. It's life is hard, and adventure is hard, and new experiences are not cheap, and so like providing a way to help people put themselves in a new place or see themselves in a new place, I think is so key.
No, it don't really matter how you roll. Life's short, so breathe it in.
I'm Dylan Kalogris, and this is my story. As a kid, I always had music playing in the background. I always had that radio station playing. I felt like I knew every DJ that was on the radio. Never really did much like television as a kid. It was like radio while I was doing stuff outside, or while I was doing my chores or making my bed or whatever, doing my homework. I ended up going to college for radio because I thought my purpose in life, my biggest passion was the radio. My first semester in college, I started doing radio stuff more and loved it, but had a lot of free time one year, my freshman year, like in between semesters, and so I picked up a guitar and right away knew that my passion was really the songs that were on the radio.
My mind, 'cause life's been crazy. California high, Carolina hazy. I'm sitting in a lawn chair, different kind of clean air, long as you know where the good stuff grows.
And I actually was offered a job after like this long interview process to be a worship pastor, and actually got to this place where I had to decide like that day. And the summer after college, I'll never forget where I was. I was sitting on a chair just like this, and just me and my uncle, and we were stacking hay bales that day. Like I was working with him like while I was applying to jobs after school, and like I got the call, and it was so exciting. Like we want to offer you this full-time position to lead music at a church and to be a worship pastor. And I hung up the phone, and I thought before I got the phone call that that's the phone call I wanted. And when I hung up the phone, I just looked around and I was like sad, and I didn't know why. And I just thought about it. I went home and I slept on my grandparents' couch that summer so I could be home, and I would be giving up so much in like the music space. And I realized that like what I needed to do, I could still be a Christian, I could still like lead people, I could still be a good person without being a pastor. I had to figure out, okay, well, if I'm not gonna call them tomorrow and take this job, like what am I gonna do? I already knew I was a country singer and a country songwriter, but I was like, well, my brother's a singer and he's in Los Angeles, and I guess I can just make that work. And so a few weeks later, I packed up everything in my possession in trash bags and moved to California. Got the first job I could get and tried to start being a country singer and songwriter in Hollywood. So after 3 years in Los Angeles, I felt like I could keep grinding out with this band. I could keep grinding out with this day job, trying to make it work financially in one of the most expensive places to live. And I got to a place in life where I was making more money on my day job than I'd ever thought I'd ever make in my life, and I was the most miserable I ever was. I was still gigging at least once a week and doing music stuff all the time, but I wasn't sleeping, I was drinking too much and trying to cope with it, and just wasn't myself. I was dating my wife at the time, long distance, and she visited me, and we had this moment where it was like, you gotta figure something out. You haven't been yourself for a long time, and this isn't you. And I was like, you're right. A few months later, I quit my job. Then they offered me a huge promotion, so like an idiot, I took it, stayed another year, and was even more miserable. Felt like it was life telling me like, no man, like you know what you're supposed to do. You gotta write songs, you gotta pursue this. A year after I got that big promotion, I quit again, and they didn't try to keep me again. They didn't try to convince me to stay that time. They knew that if this guy quit twice for the same reason, he's not coming back. Then the songs led me to Nashville. I knew if I was going to pursue songs, this was the town to do it.
Looking down from here, the world looks so small. Never thought that we'd have further to fall.
I don't know, I think that there's a lot of good things happening in country music all the time, but right now I think you're seeing a lot more of that storytelling coming back. That gives me a lot of hope because that's what drew me to it. That's what made me fall in love with country music and idolize George Strait and Garth Brooks. My main priority is to be myself as an artist and a songwriter. Hopefully people relate to that. I don't really have an interest in being anything other than that, anything other than who I am. Or I just want to do my thing, and if that works, then that works, you know? I want to make music because I love it. Yeah, Nashville has always felt like home from the moment I moved here, and I think I'm learning more and more why as I get older. But, you know, as a kid, I did face a lot of instability and kind of, you know, you don't realize it's not normal or not stable until you get older and kind of have a little bit of perspective on your life and can look back. But I realized that the most stability I had was the radio, playing in my ears literally 19 hours a day. You take out school hours, and then every hour of the day outside of school it was country radio. You know, we only show the good side of things. We only show the cool side of things. We only, like, if I'm a musician, I don't want anyone to know I have a day job, even though everyone has a day job. I don't want to tell people I have a day job, because then they're going to think I'm not professional, I'm not serious, I'm not good enough. Screw all that, man. Like, we all got day jobs. I know there's probably 100 people in this town that don't have a day job that are an artist. Everybody else is working, and I'm working, and I don't see a need to lie to anybody. I am who I am, and my songs sound like me driving home from work talking about my life. My songs sound like me at the bar talking about something I'm dealing with. I'm just here to tell my story, and I'd love to be successful as an artist, and I think I'm on my way. I think I can do it. And if people relate to me at the place and time when I put out this music, then that's great. And I'm excited for others to tell their story about drinking on a boat. You know, I don't have a boat. You know, I have a couple of trucks that I tinker on, and, you know, I got a family, and I work with my hands. I've got a beautiful wife, beautiful son, and I have a business that I enjoy. I do music because I'm passionate about it, and because I want to tell my story, and we'll see where it goes. I'm happy right now, so if my life was the same in 5 years, I would be okay. Everything happens for a reason.